Welcome back to Just Scrap Radio on bjpenn.com. I'm your host, Cole Shelton, episode 91. We're going to be first joined by Geoff Neal to preview to recap his win over Vicente Luque. Obviously, a very good performance 2 weeks ago, knocking out Luque as an underdog. Did it in violent fashion. We kind of talked about that fight. Where do you think that kind of puts him in the Gilbert Burns call, and whether or not he thinks he's going to get it, and if he does, how he matches up against Gilbert. We also talk about Uriah Hall, one of his close friends and training partners, announcing his retirement from the sport. We're then going to be joined by John Dodson ahead of his BKFC debut against Ryan Benoit. Obviously, Benoit's the former UFC fighter. This fight's actually on August 27th, but with no UFC next weekend, there's no show, so putting him on this one. Really good chat with John about why he decided to go to BKFC, whether or not he's done in MMA, and kind of some career highlights for him in the UFC. We're then going to be joined by Terrance McKinney to recap his fight against Eric Gonzalez, who with that first round submission win, very impressive. Another first round finish for Terrance. Did it in the hospital after he had his kid, so appreciate Terrance for doing that and where he kind of thinks that puts him and what's kind of next for him. And then we close things out talking to Jay Perrin to preview his fight against Richie Lang at UFC 278. He's coming off that UFC debut loss, short notice, decision loss to Mario Bautista. He thinks he's a lot better than what he showed, and he knows he can get his job done against Richie Lang and really prove he's a UFC fighter. So be sure to share the show, subscribe, and no show next week, but tune in the week after for another episode of Just Scrap Radio. All right, we're joined by Geoff Neal, who picked up a big win. Geoff, how's it going, man?
Going good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Obviously you almost finished Vicente in the first, nearly, and then you did get him out of there in the third. Like, how happy were you with that performance? Because to me, that's like the best you've looked in a lot. It's probably since the Mike Perry fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. Just it was a mental confidence boost for me. You know, just feel my body finally doing what the fuck it's supposed to be doing. You know, and to take out a tough guy like that, you know what I mean? That nobody, ever finished to yada yada yada. But I feel like I shut some people up, but some people still didn't give me enough credit saying he looked off. I'm like, yeah, of course he looked off. I made him look off, but it is what it is. I'll take that win, take that money, and move on to the next fight.
How close do you think you were, if at all, to put him out of there in that first round when you had him hurt?
I had him hurt, but he's still dangerous. So there's one point where I had him rocked, and then I tried to throw a flurry, and then he threw a hook, and it was so fast the commentators didn't really catch it, but it kind of stunned me a little bit, and I was like, all right, let's not get slept trying to finish him, you know what I mean? So I took my time to where I knew he was really, really hurt,
Did anything he did surprise you, or stuff he didn't do maybe surprise you?
The only thing that surprised me, I expected him to switch stances more. He didn't switch stances like almost at all that whole fight, so that did surprise me.
And then with this one, like becoming that first guy to finish Luque with strikes, like what do you think that does? Like, what kind of statement do you think that sends the division? Because this is a guy that has gone up against some of the best strikers, and they haven't been able to put him out.
Yeah, everybody's gonna wrestle me now. That's what it looks like. Like everybody ahead of me, besides most of the dudes ahead of me it's like wrestling heavy division right now. So yeah, they're all gonna try to wrestle. I'm ready for it.
Is that something that basically like you just always had to work on, just because the welterweight division for the longest time has just been a lot of wrestlers at the top?
Yeah, for sure. Shit, the whole camp for the Vicente Luque, we didn't work on really any striking. I didn't hit mitts the whole camp until like 2 days before the fight, and that was just to like get his sweat going. We worked wrestling the whole time. I don't hit mitts actually at all.
Why is that? Just because like you already feel confident in your striking, and you just rather work on your wrestling?
I don't know. I feel like mitts make you reactionary, and I feel like that's why that was my biggest thing that I took away from Luque. I was like, he's a reactionary fighter, so I could get him to. I know what he's going to throw whenever I do a certain thing, and like that stayed true the whole fight. That's why it was so easy for me to slip and be out of the way of his punches, because I knew where he was going to react.
Even though like you did get the win, like were you still a bit disappointed? It was just at the apex. Like that would have been a lot better if it was a week before in Dallas.
Hey, a tough dude like that, I'll take a win. I don't care. Fuck it. that was a tough fight. So we can fight in the backyard. I'll take the win.
Something we talked about before the fight was kind of how like your fight was kind of the first of like a bunch of welterweight fights in a row. Like obviously Usman Edwards is next week. Then you have like Bilal Brady, Chimaev Diaz. Like, I know you called out Gilbert Burns, but like, do you think they're probably going to wait to book you to see kind of how all those other fights play out?
I don't know. I didn't even think about it like that. That's a new way to think about it. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe they'll do it like that.
And with Burns, did you see he responded to you? Your
Yeah,
colleague saying like, if Masvidal doesn't do it, he'll take that fight.
yeah, I seen that. He's gonna be waiting a little bit for Masvidal, so I don't know how long he wants to wait for that fight.
Yeah, what do you make of that? Because like a lot of the top of the division is guys just like always holding out, like Colby, now Jorge. Like you don't really know when he's gonna come back. Like, is that frustrating for you? Where now you have other guys like Gilbert waiting to hopefully get one of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't got frustrating yet. I just broke the top 10, so
Yeah.
we'll see how this this is new territory for me. So we'll see how it goes.
And then when is kind of that time frame for you to return then?
I want to get something before the end of the year. November, December, either or.
In front of fans, though, it has to be.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it's going to be hard to get me in that Apex again.
I think after that performance, like I think you have to be at the in front of fans.
Yeah, for sure.
Something I saw too, because I noticed when we talked that you were saying, I think it was last fight or 2 fights after whatever, that you re-signed like just before the fight. Like, how come you decided to go before the fight, not just kind of wait to see how the fight plays out?
I don't know. I don't do none of the that side of the fight game. You know what I mean? I didn't know what was going on with the contract. My coach had it all situated. He didn't tell me. He didn't make me worry about none of that. I just had to focus on the fight. You know. And whatever he did on his end, I got a new contract right before the fight.
Is it just the standard 4, or did you get like locked in for a bit now?
Oh, I didn't realize 4, I think.
Yeah.
I read it.
And then say you get the Gilbert fight, like, do you think that could be a title eliminator for you where you beat Gilbert? Like your next fight could be for the belt?
I mean, it could be depending on how I beat Gilbert, and depending on with the state of the division and with everybody else, and depending on what the fans want, you know. So there's a lot of things that could come into play. But if I do great and I take Gilbert out in dominating fashion, you know, maybe.
And Bilal doing better too probably has to help you, given you have that win over him.
Yeah. I think he's ranked number 5. I don't know what his ranking is, but yeah, I root for him every fight. I want him to win all his fights. Just hopefully we don't have to fight again.
Are you already back in the gym, or do you kind of take a bit of time off after this?
I'll be back Monday.
Yeah.
Take a little week off, you know what I mean? I don't like to jump right back in. I got punched in the head a little bit, you know what I mean? You do gotta let your brain recover after any kind of fight, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. Yeah, that's my philosophy. You get punched in the head. Like if you get knocked out, you should take like 4 months off from even getting hit in the head. You know what I mean? You get punched a little bit in the fight, you should take at least a month off from getting punched in the head. It's just keep your brain cells, you know. You don't want to be all punch drunk while you're 40. So,
and especially fighting a guy like Luque that hits as hard as he does and like throws as much as he does. Probably smart taking a bit of time off.
Yeah, for sure.
After the fight, like I know you were kind of saying how you think that sent a statement to the division, but now the whole thing is people are just going to wrestle you. Like, do you think, like, are you kind of hoping that happens so you could kind of show off your grappling? Because that's something like we've never really seen at your game.
I mean, it's not that I want to show off my grappling, but if it gets down there, I'll do it. You know what I mean? That's not. If I can get to the belt without wrestling at all, like, yeah, I would rather do that. You know what I mean? Wrestling doesn't. No, that's not just. I don't want to wrestle. I want to fight. I want to punch people in the face. You know what I mean? Let's sit out there. Let's bang, and let's. And if I do wrestle somebody, I'm wrestling to hurt, to maim, to finish. You know what I mean? I don't wrestle to hold down and run out the clock, and you know what I mean. But that's what a lot of people in my division does. But I mean, teach his own.
You fight Gilbert. Like, how do you think you match up against him?
I match up really well. Just got to what's the one to be known is how effective his takedowns will be against me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He has good takedowns. He has good grappling, but I'm a different fighter. I'm a bigger fighter. I'm a stronger fighter. I'm not easy to take down, and cardio will probably be the biggest deciding factor in the fight. You know what I mean? Whoever can keep a certain pace up the whole time.
Would you want that to be like a main event 5 rounds, or would you rather just be that on like a pay-per-view and have it 3 rounds?
I mean, I'd rather all my fights be main events. You know what I mean? That's more money. So yeah,
Uh,
main event.
just last thing, like obviously Uriah Hall retired. I know you two got really close when he came to Florida. It's like, what kind of impact had he had on your career? I know he wasn't there for he was only there for a couple years, but everything
Yeah.
you've kind of said, like he was like a welcome addition to that team.
Yeah. Then he retired. I'd like get hurt. Like I didn't want him to retire, but if he feels like that's what he wants to do in his heart, then I support it 100%. And you know what I mean? And he said he'll still be around the gym, you know what I mean? So he'll still be, you know what I mean? We still get Uriah, you know what I mean? Even though he's not fighting, it is what it is. But as long as he sticks around the gym and helps us out and trains with us, like, I'm fine with that too.
Were you surprised? Like, did it kind of catch you off guard? Because didn't like think he was gonna retire. Like, I know he's lost 2 in a row, but he lost to two of the best guys, and like he's still like a top 10, top 15
Yeah,
middleweight.
it threw me off guard. And Uriah, and like it threw me off guard because I know the Uriah that I train with, and he has so much talent, and so he's the scariest dude to spar with. Like I hate sparring with him because he's dangerous as hell. Like it's literally like it's crazy. But I was actually like just talking to him, sending him like a little message, joking around. You know what I mean? And this was like literally like 10 minutes before the announcement came out. You know what I mean? And then like I was like, "Whoa, bro, what the fuck?" I'm like talking to you, and all of a sudden this announcement comes out. Like I had no fucking idea.
You couldn't even get the heads up.
Nah, I mean, hey, it's personal. You know what I mean?
Well, Jeff, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much for doing this.
Ain't no
All
problem.
right, we're joined by one of the newest members of the BKFC, John Dodson. John, how's it going, man?
I'm doing excellent. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Like, I just kind of want to start there. Like, obviously, after the UFC release, you're fighting in like ex MMA. Like, how did the BKFC thing kind of come together?
Well, BKFC kind of happened because they had the tryouts out here now in Rio Rancho with, or not Rio Rancho, in Edgewood over at the Cowboys Ranch. My brother was like super interested. He's like, "Hey, you want to do this?" I was like, "Nah, I don't want to do bare knuckle. That's like more of your lane." My brother loves to be straight boxing. He's that guy who helps me out get ready for my fights, but he loves to go ahead and be that tough guy to knuckle up with anybody. And he was like, "Man, this is like right on my alley. I love being able to punch people in the face with no gloves, no takedowns, no nothing. That's what I want to do." So I went out to the trials with him and hyping him up. And they're like, "Hey, how much would it take for you to get in here?" I was like, "See this beautiful face? It's whatever's going to take me out of a modeling career and acting career." They're like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Dead serious."
And then when you go to the tryouts, like, were you just more doing it for your brother? Did you actually think like maybe I'll actually end up getting signed after all this?
No, I just sat there slowly going out there for my brother. I was like making sure I can highlight him, make sure that this is going to be his avenue, like his way to be like pretty much a fighting legend. And this is hit right up his alley.
And then when did that kind of change from being for your brother and then to ended up signing?
Shoot, they hit me with an offer that I couldn't refuse. And I was like, "Hey, I'm going to go ahead and do this, but you got to make sure you throw my brother on a card with us so that we can go ahead and do the same thing too." Because like my brother was had 3 fights scheduled with them, but they never came through. So I was like, "If I'm going to fight for you guys, put me and my brother on the same card as my hometown. Like we're going to go ahead and sell this place out." Like what? I was like, "You ain't never had 2 Dodsons fight on one card. It's going to be the bloodiest thing you have ever seen in your entire life."
Is he on the card then? Like, or is that the plan to get him on this card?
No, my brother is on the card. So he's actually one of the fights that are going to be earlier, and I'm going to go corner him, and then he's going to come back and come corner me.
How exciting is that for you? Because obviously your brother fights, and now you guys get experience of fighting on the same card together.
Man, it's going to be pretty hectic because it's either always been one of us in a corner and being nerve wracking. So at least my nerves going to be calm when I'm sitting there getting ready for my fight against Ryan Benoit, while my brother's out there banging somebody's head against the floor. I'm going to sit there and be doing the exact same thing too.
And then your opponent, Ryan Benoit, like a fellow UFC veteran, I'm sure you guys are both coming up in the UFC at the same time. So like, how familiar are you with him?
I'm pretty familiar with Ryan Benoit. Like I sat there, watched him fight for several years, making sure that I can see his ins and outs, his weaknesses, and things that I know I can capitalize on.
How much do you like study his fights? Just because like I've talked to like MMA fighters that go into bare knuckle and like people come up with completely different styles because they don't have to worry about the takedowns or kicks. Like, do you focus a lot on how he fought in the UFC, or are you kind of more focused just on you and getting yourself ready for bare knuckle?
I have to go ahead and consider the fact that Ravenoy's been sitting there being a heavy-handed guy. So he's just like myself. All we do is nothing but strikes, so we can go our punches to solidify all of our wins. I have to study all that ins and outs of his style, but also have to integrate it from not a boxing style and a bare knuckle, or like pretty much MMA style. It's a bare knuckle style, because I can go ahead and use tie clinch and plum with everybody, and I can use those collar ties to sit there and start light you up. So this is like the real version of dirty boxing, of being able to hold somebody and just beat them up until they give up.
And then something that's always stuck out to me whenever I talk to people that go to bare knuckle is how much they actually like training now, where you don't have to worry about like jujitsu and wrestling and all that. Like, is that a big thing for you now, where it's now just focused on striking? It's a lot more fun for you?
No, I still have to teach everybody that. I still have to I have all my classes that I have to go ahead to teach, all my grappling and all my wrestling classes, and also my kickboxing classes as well. Like, even though I might not be having to train that style, I still have to teach it, make sure I can learn all the aspects of it to help everyone else out. I have a guy that's fighting July 30th, and he's fighting an MMA bout, so I got to make sure I get him ready and prepare for his fight, and then getting ready for my own fight by just boxing and beating up somebody.
And then the bare knuckle thing too. Like, are you gonna train bare knuckle? Are you gonna put on like just like the MMA gloves for it? Like, how are you gonna kind of get ready for that?
I've been punching solid walls, bare knuckles, day in and day out, making sure I can do the iron fist tradition of hitting everything solid all day. I've been using macchiato boards. No, I'm totally kidding. Nah, I've been sitting there boxing on my bag, all bare knuckle, making sure I can get prepared for it. Because if I can go ahead and throw 1,000 punches quick and easy and be precise with those, then that'd be the same thing that I can do in the bare knuckle fights. Like, I'm not really doing anything that's more different than what I've done in MMA. Like, we always train with boxing with MMA gloves, so that's not a real different for me. Like, a lot of people are like, oh man, you need to switch over. It's like, no, I'm already doing it. Like, I boxed with MMA gloves for years.
And then how big of like an adjustment is it, like knowing where to land your punches? Just because with MMA gloves, like you land on the top of the head, like it hurts, but with bare knuckle, like that's where a lot of the people break their hands. Like, is that something you've kind of had to figure out, is like landing the punches at the right spots?
No, because I'm too short to hit somebody on top of the forehead. So that doesn't apply to me. Mine's always accurate and hitting the ear or the chin, or punching people in the throat. That's like pretty much how I go down.
And then bare knuckle, like 2-minute rounds, like you're always known for your cardio. So like, what's that going to be like for you there? That's just like a sprint right off the bat.
I know, it's just on in to be like this all day. That's how fast I'm going to be coming in and making sure I can continuously hit this dude. Like, I know he's going to want to quit in the first 10 seconds. As soon as I start putting a real punishment on him and putting the pressure on top of him, he's not going to be able to keep up with my speed. And not only that, he's going to be getting hit a lot. And that's going to be the most frustrating thing for him. Like, it's no gloves, no nothing. And every time I touch him, it's going to remind him that every shot hurts. And I'm going to be sitting there laying everything I have on the line.
And then with this one in Albuquerque too, like what's that going to be like? Like in your backyard, like imagine the support for you is going to be pretty insane.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely insane because of the fact that I haven't lost. This is that thing. I'm not going to lose. I'm not ever going to lose here in my hometown. This is my own backyard. I can't let these people down. Like, I'm going to go out there and sit there, knuckle up, and make sure I put him to sleep. I have to stop him at any cost. And he will. This is my territory. I need to go ahead and shut it down.
And then both you guys are known for the power punches. Like, so like, how do you kind of see playing out? Like, do you think could be just whoever lands first in this one?
No, because I'm going to be the one who lands first and lands last. Because he's not going to be nowhere near as fast as I am. He always sits there, plots, and pretty much looks like he's stuck in the mud 90% of the time. So I can go ahead and touch him anytime I want and make sure that I'm going to be in and out without a graze at all.
You beat Benoit here. Like, are you hoping maybe fighting for the title in BKFC in your next fight?
Hopefully. Like, actually, BKFC is going to be having an 8-man tournament at flyweight. So when I stop Ryan Benoit, I want to go ahead and see what they're going to tell me next. Like, hey, John, we're going to go ahead and put you in this 8-man tournament and then have you fight for generations.
Mm-hmm. And then with this one too, like I know when they signed like Jimmy Rivera, they allowed him to still do MMA. Like, is that something still in your contract where you can take an MMA fight if you want, or is it just BKFC solely?
No, I can go ahead and bounce back and forth. I can go ahead and do a BKFC fight, and then also I can go straight to MMA. Like,
Uh,
so what was
How
that?
exciting is that for you then, where you can kind of still go back and forth between them?
Still exciting because of the fact that it makes me feel like it can be more dangerous and more like pretty much I can make more revenue through doing what I want to do. I can go do some bare knuckles, touch people up, get this fight over quickly, and then go to whatever MMA promotion and do the exact same thing. Just as long as I can stay busy, like a fighter's lifeline is like not that far, like not that long. So my longevity in the sport's almost at its end. So I need to go ahead and pretty much take whatever I can and just be excited about the ending of my careers.
Have you kind of thought about like how much longer you got in this, or is that something like you don't even think about right now?
Tell you the truth, that's not something I've been thinking about right now because one, I've never been dropped. I haven't been knocked out. I haven't been finished. So I'm not taking real damage or real abuse by anybody. So this isn't a conversation that has ever popped up because just because I had some poor showings in the UFC with my last couple of fights doesn't mean that I don't have to sell the fight. I just had to find it back and I'm going to show everybody and showcase it once again.
And it's like you were fighting like the top guys too. It's not like you were losing to like the guys unranked or no one's even heard of in the UFC.
Yeah, see, that was my thing. Everyone's always like, man, you had like a poor run at 135. I was like, you guys realize I fought the best guys all the time. They're like, yeah. I was like, well, when you fought Jan, I was like, Jan is the champion now. They're like, yeah. I was like, and I dropped him.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone's like, oh man, you didn't do too good. I was like, no, everybody else hasn't done that well. I'm the one who actually sat him down on his butt, and he had to get scared for his life and try to shoot double leg on me and pretend like he was a wrestler.
Is that going to be exciting though, where when you can drop guys and then you don't have to worry about them shooting for your legs?
You know what's going to be the most weird thing though is I'm going to hit him, and once he falls, I want to jump back on top of him, and that's going to be the thing that's going to like that's that switch I won't know. Like that's going to be a real learning curve once I drop him, not to follow him down, continue hitting him, and I hopefully I don't get like disqualified or have any points taken away because I did that.
Just a couple more things, like just like we kind of talked about, like you fought like the best guys in the UFC. Like, do you ever look back and kind of like go down your record and see like who you kind of fought? Like, does anything stand out from your kind of UFC run to like who you fought?
Man, like tell you the truth, like I fought the best of the best, like even like former champions and current champions. Like John Lineker's out there fighting at ONE FC, looks like, and he's been destroying everybody. And I've watched him knock out guys after guy after guy, and I'm like, holy cow! I sat there, stood 5 rounds with this dude, landing so much more punches than him, and I came out unscathed. I was like, I looked amazing. He came out looked like Frankenstein, but he won the fight.
And then when you fought Yan, like, did you think like he was going to be that good after you fought him? Like he was going to be a future champion?
No, I thought the kid got lucky and I was on my back. No, no I'm kidding. No, I thought he was good. I thought he was actually had the right skills and he's going to be pretty much a true monster in the division, like how I thought he was going to be. I was like, he beat me and he made sure that he made it look like it was kind of easy. So I had to give my hat to that kid. They called me a clown and made me look like one.
Do you still pay attention to like the UFC bantamweight division, or are you kind of more just focused on you and now like bare knuckle?
I watch UFC religiously because of the fact that I don't care who's fighting. I'm still a fight fan. I think that's one of my things. I've never sat there and stopped watching fighting. Like I watched the UFC and I watched the bantamweight division. I've been watching the flyweight division. I've been disappointed in the flyweight division because they continue to have the same fights at flyweight for the championships until right now having this interim title fight between Kai Kara France and Brandon Moreno.
Yeah, like what are your kind of thoughts on like you explained a bit, but like the fly division, like having Moreno Figueiredo do 3 times and then possibly 4 if Moreno wins. And like it seems like, and then the same thing was happening with DJ, was just all these rematches. Do you think that's kind of why it isn't as popular as other divisions? Is because it's always like rematches and trilogies at the top?
Yeah, that's not going to be in any division. Like you get these guys who are just dominant throughout the whole like base of the career. Like look at Alexander Volkanovski. He fought Max Holloway for the 3rd time right now, and Now he's thinking about him having to move up to lightweight. Like these guys are just running through the division so quickly that they have nobody else to compete against.
And then bantamweight division. Do you think Dillashaw gets that title back against Sterling, or how do you think that one kind of plays out?
I think TJ Dillashaw is going to go ahead and beat Aljamain. Like I know everyone's a big Aljamain fan because he beat Jan and made it so easy. But I think TJ Dillashaw has the better skill set with the striking and on the wrestling ability. Now, it may not be on like the technical aspects of the grappling part, but he's going to be able to go ahead and control the round pace and also control the striking.
And just last thing for you, like obviously we kind of talked about it, like you got that multi-fight deal with bare knuckle, you can still do MMA. So like what's kind of the ideal goal for you? Like you're fighting end of August, like, you hoping like maybe 1-2 more fights in this year?
Yeah, I'm going to hopefully get the quick knockout here in Rio Rancho and then go straight to an MMA fight in September. Can't let y'all know where I'm planning on doing after that. I got to wait to see my knuckles heal up. Then me and you'll be having this conversation afterwards.
Yeah. Well, John, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, no problem, man. Thank you for reaching out. I'm excited to be on the show.
All right, we're joined by Terrance McKinney, who doesn't even look like he got in a fight like 2-3 days ago. Terrance, how's it going, man?
What's up, brother?
Another fight, another first round stoppage. Like, could that fight have gone any better for you?
Yeah, maybe if I got the knockout, that would have been pretty wild. The victory's a victory, so I'm happy.
We've talked about in the past about how your grappling's like people overlook it. Like, are you a bit disappointed you are showing it now and like you have been able to kind of keep that in your back pocket?
Yeah, man, I like to show them my grappling. Sometimes I like to mix it up, and I told people I was gonna actively look for the submission and knockout this fight. I want to be on my Charles Oliveira stuff from here on out. This is mixed martial arts, and I gotta remember that even though I love doing stuff for the fans and getting a knockout, I gotta remember this isn't just kickboxing.
Your grappling is like super dangerous too. So do you think that just makes you even more of a threat for people to fight? Where if they stand with you, you obviously have a ton of power, but now you're showing off like you don't really want to go to the ground with you either.
Yeah, man. This makes me a dual threat, and I think we're gonna get that ranked opponent before the year ends, man. And everything I spoke in existence is gonna come to pass.
Something we talked about before the fight was how you were really working on your cardio with Syed, and that's something how you wanted to kind of show it. Like, I know a first round finish is nice, but were you kind of hoping to go in that second round and show like that your cardio is there?
I was, and but at the same time, I showed that my fight IQ was up. I showed that I knew how to like conserve my energy on the stand up. I wasn't just being wild. I'd have quick bursts, take my rest like I was taught to do, and we're easily ready to go 3 rounds.
How much of a benefit is working with Syed and his kind of pressure? Because I have to imagine like he probably gets you tired like really quick with that his pressure, and like going with him, probably going with in the fight, you probably don't even get as tired.
Yeah, I was not even close to tired. I was ready. I could have went 15 rounds. I did a whole pretty much fight in the back, and I wasn't even breathing hard. So like, I want to thank him for that, and my strength and conditioning coach Lemery. He pushed both for us, our fight camp, and this is the best I ever felt. So shout out to Dylan Lemery.
I know you're a guy that likes to be as active as possible, but obviously you just had your kid, which congratulations on that.
Thank you, brother.
So when is kind of the time frame for you to return?
Like I said, Charles Oliveira card or November Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, you have to be in front of fans next time out. Like you're too exciting of a fighter to put at the Apex.
They need to, man. I need to feel that energy, man. That's my favorite, man. I love entertaining fans, and I know that's when something spectacular is gonna happen.
We've talked about the Patty fight as well in the past. Like, do you think they would give you him, or do you think you're too dangerous for Patty and they kind of give him someone else?
I'm too dangerous for Patty right now. But that fight's definitely gonna happen. I bet when we're both ranked, and it makes sense. Where our stock's gonna be even more worth it, and it's gonna make the UFC a lot of money in us. So when that time comes, it's definitely gonna be one that the fans will never forget, and I'm looking forward to it.
How do you think you match up against him? Because he's obviously a very good grappler, but like so are you. And then I think like I wouldn't even think, I know that you probably hit a lot harder than him.
Exactly. That's why I know once I get him, the hype's done, then it's over with. I think anyone in the top 25 get a hold of him, that hype's gonna change. Like Garon, Demir, any of those guys, they kill him.
I actually think the Matt Frivola fight might make the most sense for Patty if they want to give him like a bit of a step up.
Yeah, exactly. Give him a little step up, see how he gets for Vola, and then we'll see. We'll see if he's the real deal.
You kind of said it there. You think a lot of those top guys beat him. Do you think that's because of like his striking and how much he gets hit, or like do you just think that like, his overall game like isn't there to where those top guys are?
I just think just like his stand-up IQ and his wrestling isn't as good as good as people try to act like it is. His grappling's good, but at this level, whose grappling isn't good, especially in our division. Guys are elite as they come.
If you don't get that next or in the future, like, are you hoping he kind of just keeps on getting these easy fights and getting the win, so you can kind of be that first guy to beat him in the UFC?
Yes, man. That's a Kodak moment, and it's just gonna make the ascension even better. Like I said, it's all about time, and I know when I do fight him, it'll all be the right time.
If you don't get the Patty fight, like, is there any other guy you want, or are you hoping like a ranked guy then?
I'll be down to get down with Brad Riddell, Bobby Green, or Jim Miller.
Yeah, all three of those fights would be really entertaining and like actually make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but all those fights make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think those all make for fight tonight. We're both all explosive guys. We're all slick on the feet. We all can wrestle. So yeah, I think those fights definitely make the most sense to me right now.
And then I saw on your social media, you saw Juliana Pena at the fights. Like, I know you kind of used to like grew up kind of with her and Kiesa. What was it like seeing her there?
It was dope seeing her there, man, and I'm glad she's finally getting the love that she deserved because she's an incredible woman. As you guys see, she's tough as nails, man, and I can't wait for the trilogy.
Are you like kind of hoping they head out to Spokane soon? Like they could do like Juliana, you and Kiesa all on the card together.
I know, man. It's just a matter of time. We got to do it quick, man, because everyone's getting older. Time's going by extremely fast. It's insane.
You're already 4 fights into your UFC career, which is already kind of crazy how fast you've already got these fights in. Like, I know most contracts run 4 fights. I'm pretty sure we've talked about how you've already re-signed a couple times. Like, is that the case? Like, you've already renegotiated a few times again?
I think it's time to renegotiate again and
Yeah.
get one of them awesome fights that I was mentioning.
Yeah, because after this performance again, and even against Drew Dober, and seeing what Dober did against Alves, like your stock even grew with your loss.
Exactly, because like even then, I did more damage than Rafael Alves did in one round.
Are you hoping to get that Dober rematch on like a full camp, or is that one that if it happens, it happens?
If it happens, it happens, but it don't matter to me because at the end of the day, I know my stock's greater than his. And I know, like, for me, I know I might not ever fight him again, but I know eventually I'm going to be ranked and he won't. And that's the get back for me. So,
and then lightweight division too, like a lot of big fights are upcoming, like obviously with Oliveira, Islam, like Benil, Gamrot, like Poirier, kind of Chandler, like kind of rumored. Like, what do you make of the top of the division right now? Because it's like as exciting as it's been in a while.
I'm excited, man, because things are finally going to get moving in our division, and I'm excited for new blood, and it's going to make a crazy next couple of years, man. I'm excited to see who holds the belt when I fight for it.
Just last thing, everyone talks about getting father strength, or like everything kind of changes when you become a dad. Like, do you think that's gonna like affect you, or like really like with you being like, do you think about having your kid will change you at like with you fighting?
Oh yeah, it already has. Just the way I train is way different. I actually do cardio, man. just expect me to be championship level every time I step out because, like I said, failure isn't an option anymore.
Well, Terrance, I appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much for doing this.
Hey, thanks, Cole, man. Stay blessed, brother.
Yeah. All right, we're joined by UFC bantamweight Jay Perrin, who's back in action. Jay, how's it going?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well. Like, obviously, your debut took on a couple days' notice against a very
Sunday.
Yeah, a very game Mario Bautista, and hung in there to go the distance. Like, what did you kind of take away from that? Because Mario's a tough guy to fight, especially on short notice.
I took it from the guy I thought, and I've watched Mario. I think Mario's going to be a top 15 guy. Look what he just did to Josh Kelleher, you know what I mean, who's not an unknown. You know what I mean? He's got wins over Kelleher like that. He's got wins over I'm blanking it. He knocked out Miles Johns, who's another tank. You know what I mean? This guy is a legitimate top 15 prospect. So I knew that going in, and so I've always been the guy that seeks out the hard rounds. You know, the guy that because I want to measure myself, and I didn't win that one, but that man should have finished me. You know what I mean? On 6 days, he should have finished me, and he didn't. A lot of people are like, yeah, but you didn't win. You're right, I didn't, but I can hang with all of these people. You know what I mean? I can hang with people of that caliber, and I can throw hands with them. If you look up to the significant strike totals, I think that the only really, I think it was about even the whole time. I think I might have had a little bit more. So, it just really proved to me that I do belong in the UFC. That performance, even though I lost on 6 days' notice, shows me that I'm exactly where I need to be. So it really just energized me. I didn't get that one, but I'm going to get the next one. You know what I mean? The next one I'm going to get, and I'm going to rattle them all off. And maybe one day me and Mario see each other again, and the story is different. But losing to a guy that will eventually be in the top 15 on 6 days' notice isn't something that, I'm super duper, upset about. You know what I mean? When he beat Kelleher, actually, it just confirmed everything I already knew. So, I'm better than I showed there. I'm going to show that in the next fight, and you guys will hear about me for a long time coming.
And basically, 6 months to the day is your next fight. Was this a bit longer than what you wanted, or is this kind of the right time frame for you?
I mean, it worked out. You know what I mean? I got a little fat, depressed after, so it took me a little time to get the weight back down. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as too much prep time. Yeah, you'd like to get it over with because, you know what I mean, the camps are long. But, I do this every day. I love what I do. So, it's even if I'm not in camp, I wasn't in camp from February to April, but I didn't stop. You know what I mean? I didn't stop training. I was, I got the call in April, and I'm like, all right, this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? We're 8 to 10 weeks out. Cool. You know what I mean? I have the proper time to prepare. So I asked for that, and the UFC gave it to me. You know what I mean? They thought that I did well enough to warrant a full camp and on a good card. So I'm fortunate for that. I'm very, very, very happy with that. If I didn't have the time that I have, I wouldn't be as in great a shape as I am. I am in amazing shape, and it's because I've had the time to properly prepare and adjust things the way that I wanted. So I think it was a good thing. It's a good and a bad thing.
And then fighting, when you found out you'd be on this pay-per-view in front of fans, how exciting was that? Because I'm sure you have a lot of teammates that you've seen have been at the Apex for 5-6 fights.
Dude, it's everybody's dream, dude. Bruce Buffer's going to say my name. There's going to be a crowd. And I'm one of those people that, not that the Apex isn't wonderful. It's just more intimate. You know what I mean? You can hear everything. I like the crowd. I've always fed off of a crowd. Boos, cheers. That's what we're there for. You want the fans to be there. You want to be in a stadium. You want to be in a place where a pay-per-view is, and so for me, it's just energized me so much because I want to show out here. This is my opportunity to let the world know who I am. And it's even, it's not pressure, but it's more of an opportunity than Mario. You know what I mean? My Mario got me in, and I'm thankful for that. And I got to display some of what I'm able to do against high-level guys. I don't think my next opponent is as a high level as Mario. So again, the matchup, the timing, the place, the card, all the stars have aligned for me to come in there and show the world who I am after so many years of struggling and telling everybody I'm one of the best. So, you know what I mean? That whole atmosphere is just going to make me even a much better fighter because under the lights, I'm much better than I am in the gym, and I'm not bad in the gym, but I'm a game day fighter. So once I make the walk, you guys are going to see a really, really pristine version of me.
And your opponent in Arichi Lang, how familiar were you with him? Went 0-2 to start his, and then moved up to bantamweight, then knocked out Cameron Els.
Cam Els was my teammate at the time. We didn't work very much together on that camp, but I have watched Arichi Lang. He looks better at bantamweight. That was his first try. So we're not really paying attention to his 25 career. We're paying attention to what he did at 35 with Cam. And he hasn't really shown anything that I haven't seen. And I know that's like a generic answer, but I mean, after a certain amount of fights, a fight's a fight. Doesn't really matter. He's got almost 40 fights, something like that, maybe a little over. And what that shows to me is that you can't really teach an old dog new tricks. People don't really change how they fight or learn much after a certain amount. You know what I mean? You're just going to keep doing what you're doing and add to that formula if you can. So I in his last fight, which was only a few months ago, he didn't display anything to me that I haven't seen before. Pressure I can deal with. I'll stand in the middle and trade with him. I know that his wrestling isn't as great as Mario's. Mario was a Henry Cejudo teammate or something like that. I'm sorry, getting the word. And I got him down. You know what I mean? I think that everywhere this goes, I am better. Every single place that this goes. I know that he's very ferocious, and in the first couple of minutes, we're going to have ourselves a nice, good little tug of war. But as time goes on, I get stronger, and he doesn't. So I just think, like I said, the stars have aligned, and the matchup for me, as far as being technical and well-rounded, is perfect. So he's a tough fighter. He's very experienced. I have a lot of respect for all of my opponents, especially in the UFC. But I just don't see anything here that he's going to be just overwhelm me with. You know what I mean? I've adapted to much, much worse and much more talented fighters. So that's how I feel about that.
How beneficial is it then that your coaches already helped kind of prepare Cam for Richie Lang? They know him probably very well now.
John Wood is an amazing coach, man. John is a fighter's coach. You know what I mean? Like he cares about every little tiny thing. He does pad work from fucking 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day. Game planning for 100 different fighters, and he's on the phone with me all the time. You know what I mean? Like he knows what he's talking about. And I also have people I have brought in a teammate that's actually fought Richie Lang before and knows what he's like in there. And I've gotten a lot of great insight from those people. But like I said, a fight's a fight. I don't really have a plan. There's no plan. You know what I mean? Because anything can happen in a fight. You just go in there. I have an understanding of what he's usually like in the first couple of minutes. But then after that, it's just bedlam, So all I got to do is believe in my coach, and I do fucking wholeheartedly. Absolutely wholeheartedly do I believe in John Wood. If he says to do something, I do it immediately, because that's, you know what I mean? He sees things that I don't. So it's a really big advantage to have such a high level coach on my team, as well as he's already fought. You know what I mean? He already knows how this guy's going to move. So, John wouldn't give me a fight he didn't think I could win. So that's how I feel. I think it's super beneficial to have had him up close and personal with Richie Lang.
And then how do you kind of see playing out? Like you mentioned earlier that you think the longer the fight goes, you're going to kind of get better and he's going to get worse. But then he is a very durable guy, like tough to finish. Like Jeff Molina couldn't finish him. Like he fought Kai Kara France on the regional scene. Like he couldn't finish him. Like, do you kind of expect him to be there for all 15 minutes? Or do you think like you have that grappling where you could get in that choke?
I'll probably get the choke. I don't think that his back defense is very good. I don't think that he's very great on the ground. He's very aggressive on the feet, and that's where that's his best chance to beat me. I know he's tough. He's durable. He's tough to his face. Okay. Nobody's tough to the body. Nobody is tough to the body. The body will make you shut down no matter how tough you are. So, the difference is that I'm very ranged in my attack. If you watched me and Mario, I went up and down him with my boxing. I went from body to head to body to head, body to the head. And if I want to, I can take him down wherever I want in the middle of those combinations. I think that, everybody's tough in the UFC. You know what I mean? You're in the UFC. You're here for a reason. So if he stays the whole 15, fine. I'm fine with that. I'll beat him for 15 minutes. You know what I mean? I'll know quickly if this guy's not going to go out. If he doesn't, then okay, that's fine. I'm happily able to go all 15. We can make it fight of the night. I'm trying to get 50K. So if he wants to do that, and we can have ourselves a nice little war, get a third paycheck, by all means, my man. But I'm coming there to hit you and hit you hard. I'm there to make a statement. Whether I knock you out or I 30-27 you, dude, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I'm making sure that everybody knows I'm here to stay. So 15 minutes, 2 minutes, 50 seconds. It doesn't really matter. I'm coming for the win.
I know you said you weren't paying much attention to his run at flyweight, but like Cody Durden's a good wrestler and got Richie Lang down. I think it was like 5 or 6 times and had a lot of success on the ground. Like, does that kind of give you confidence where you're probably stronger than Cody just because you are a 35er and like Cody was able to get him down and hold him down?
Yep, absolutely. I think that my wrestling's a lot more underrated than you think that it is. I think a lot of people don't give me enough credit for that. My takedown, I think percentage, like accuracy, is like 83% or something like that. But when I want you to put you down, I put you down. So there's that. Obviously, he's a little bit bigger and stronger at 35. You know what I mean? I'm sure that that's the truth. He's also been sat down by 25ers. Jeff Molina put him down. You know, and didn't finish him, but he's been rocked before by 25ers. So once that happens, shit gets easier to do. And to be honest, Cam didn't do much. You know, Cam didn't hit him a lot. So like you couldn't see how he handles power from up a weight class. He's gonna find that out this fight. I've done everything I can to up my power production. The PI people have been fucking amazing. This is the first time in my career really that I've had a legitimate dietitian and a legitimate strength and conditioning coach for the past 7 months. And I have the numbers to show it. I am one of the hardest hitting people in the roster right now. So I'm going to hit him hard as fuck, and he's going to wobble. And that's usually where my finishes come. He's going to wobble, he'll fall down, and then I'll get his neck, you know, and that's usually how I get my finishes, and I'm fine with that. So I think that's how that's going to go. So if he got picked up and put down by a 25er, I'm going to pick him up and put him down as well.
You go out there and beat him and say you finish him as well. Like, where do you think that kind of puts you in the division? Or is it more just like kind of shows everyone that you're like a legit like guy in the roster?
Man, you know, the word fringe fighter has been put on here, and I don't want to be one of them New England fighters that gets here, gets his ass kicked, and then fucking leaves. You know what I mean? I don't want that. I want to be a guy that knows, you know, this for right now. This message is just, I belong here. You know what I mean? And I'm going to continue to belong here. I don't really know where it puts me into the division. The guy's 1-3 or 1-2. You know what I mean? In bantamweight. So it's not like I can make a bunch of bold claims that I'm the best ever. I'm just trying to get here and enjoy my life and do the thing that I love the most, and that's fighting and get paid for it. You know what I mean? All I want right now is to get through this contract and do well in it, and then be able to negotiate for myself a little bit more. So after that, you know, if I rattle off some wins, then I can start talking. You know what I mean? But right now, I don't think that I'm, even with a win, I'm not in a position to really be screaming that I'm the best ever and I'm this and that and that. I know that in my heart, but you know what I mean? You just kind of make a fool of yourself when you rattle off, when you only have one win. You know what I mean? You're 1-1. You're talking about you deserve this, that, or the other. So I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be on the card that I'm on. I'm happy to be able to perform the way that I know I can. And you know what I mean? From there on, we'll see what happens. You know, hopefully the brass are impressed by what I have to offer, and maybe they bump me up in competition. If not, then I'll just keep cruising, baby, until, you know, my time is in the spotlight, you know.
Just two more things. Like, what is kind of the goal then for you to see? Like, you hoping you can get one more in then?
I would like to fight around like November, December, if that's possible. You know, barring that I'm not like injured or I don't break a hand or something like that or anything like that. I'd like to fight one more time, you know. But if not, I'm going to take the rest of the year, be a human being, you know, and then I would like to get 4 in next year. That's my goal for at least the next year. I know shit was kind of weird this year with booking and stuff, so they'll give me another one. I'm sure they'll give me one more, and we'll see how it works out. I would really like to fight in November or December. But if it doesn't work out that way, then I'll probably be back in February again, and we'll just rattle off as many as we can before the next one, you know. So I don't really know. I'd like to do that, but again, after this fight, all I know is I'm taking my girl to Star Wars Land, and you know what I mean, taking 2 weeks off, and then I'll be right back to it.
Just last thing, the Joker tattoo. That's sweet. Like, what's kind of the backstory with that? Like, I'm a big superhero guy, so it looks really cool.
The Joker thing is, I had a teacher, a mentor, who was kind of like an adopted father to me. Mm-hmm. And so he, I struggled a lot with mental health growing up, and even now as an adult, and I'm a big mental health advocate. And what he tried to display to me was that the Joker was a character that believed in himself, even if we all didn't agree with how he felt. He was all right with himself. So in The Killing Joke, there's a point where Batman pretty much asks him, "Hey man, we can get you some help. We can figure this out. We don't have to be this way forever." And Joker finally breaks his character for once and goes, "You know what, man? I like who I am, and this is who I'm going to be. And whether you agree with it or not is not up to me. But this is who I am, and this is what I'm going to do." And I think he really tried to let me embrace that side of myself instead of kick myself while I was down. And so he kind of gave me the moniker the Joker because of that. And when he passed away, you know, God rest his soul, I just kind of took it. And so this was kind of just an homage to him and how much he helped me in my struggle. So I look at the Joker a little bit differently. Obviously, he's a fucking murderer and he does horrible things. But there's another side to that where he's like, you know what? I know I'm bad. I know I'm not the greatest person. I know I'm fucking awful, but I'm okay with that. And I think that a lot of us strive to be okay with ourselves and how we are, who we are, a lot of our lives, even deeper into it. So I was taught that lesson very early, and I was very fortunate to have a teacher and a mentor that could help me accept myself for who I am, and even the flaws that I have to work on are okay because everybody has them. So that's kind of where the Joker thing comes from, is that obviously he's cool, but it was a deeper meaning to that. So it was kind of an homage to my late mentor.
Just one more quick thing. You said Star Wars Land. You ever been there before, or is that the first time you're going?
I haven't. I'm so excited, dude. Huge Star Wars fan.
Yeah, me too. It looks so sick.
I read all the books. Like, I really, you know what I mean? Like, I have all the Old Republic stuff and, like, you know what I mean? All of it. Like, I remember one time, like, I used to have a Bumble profile, have a girlfriend, just so we all know.
Mm-hmm.
But like on the profile was like I'm a big Star Wars fan and I will overwhelm you with Star Wars knowledge. And girls would come up to me or like mess me and go, well, tell me about Star Wars. Like, what don't I know? And I would hit them with like 3-page books of just information. And they would never hit me up again. And I would go, worth it. Not even mad. Good for them. So huge Star Wars fan. I can't wait. I'm gonna spend 2 or 3 days there after the fight. And then go home to Mass and see my mom and my family. I have a nephew that I haven't met yet and a baby cousin. And it's just about time that I go home and deal with that. I've been here doing that. So after Star Wars Land, which I'm going to spam Instagram with, it's back home.
Well, Jay, I appreciate the time. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you having me. And I hope I see you again.